What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. During the last part, we saw the arrival of the other Saiyans. Kakarot finally met his brother as well as Vegeta and Nappa, but things turned out much differently than you might have expected. Raditz actually turned against the two other Saiyans. And with their great power, they're able to hold off Vegeta and Nappa, with some help from Nail too. Although, this is going to have consequences going forward. Even though they're victorious now, things will change further ahead, and you'll see what I mean in this part. For this video, let's set a like goal of 3,500 likes. Once we hit that, I'll continue with another part of this series. Anyways, let's pick up from here. After their defeat against Kakarot and Raditz, Nappa and Vegeta departed Namek, returning back to the Frieza Force base. They go there to get healed too. They're not in completely terrible shape, but they're still pretty badly beaten. And they will get a bit stronger from this, but it won't be enough. They know that they need to get a lot stronger if they ever want to defeat those two, but that's not their main goal right now. They want to look for more Dragon Balls. Namek confirmed that they do exist, and they gotta keep this under wraps. They can't let Frieza or anyone else find out. And their target has shifted away from Namek. Sure, they could train a bit and then go back to see if they're strong enough to actually get the Dragon Balls then, but that might not work. Who knows? Kakarot and Raditz might get really strong within that time frame, and whatever training they do right now might not be enough. So instead, they're gonna search around the universe, trying to find other planets with wish orbs. There's gotta be other places that Namekians live on. They know Namekians have space travel. So the two of them begin looking into this, trying to find any other planets that they can, looking to see if Namekians exist on any of them. And as soon as they're fully healed, the two of them immediately leave. Nappa asks where they're going, and Vegeta says they're gonna go train somewhere else. They're gonna defect from the Frieza Force right now. Even if they don't know where they're going yet, it's fine. They gotta leave the Frieza Force. The two of them are able to steal a ship and leave. And of course, this does cause some disarray within the Frieza Force itself. Frieza heard of them going to Namek and then coming back very injured. That already did make him pretty suspicious, but then the two of them just left and defected, and no one could find where they're going. This does catch his attention. Of course, he doesn't care if they leave, but he's more interested in why. What happened that caused them to do all this, and why they get so injured? Namek is supposed to be a peaceful place, right? Sure, there might be some strong warriors there, but how are they that strong? And what are they exactly protecting? Why did Vegeta and Nappa go there in the first place? Something doesn't sound right here. He's suspicious that maybe Saiyans or Dragon Balls are involved. It's gotta be one of those two. Why would they go to this planet? Little does he know it's both. Not only does another Saiyan live there, but Dragon Balls do exist there. He's not too sure and has no confirmation yet, so he's gonna send some scouts by Namek to see what's going on. This isn't too much cause for concern yet, but it's just enough to pique his attention. He does want to see what's going on. Meanwhile, Raditz does stay on Namek. He doesn't really have anywhere else to go, and he decides he's actually gonna train here for a bit. Kakarot already knows he's not planning to stay permanently, but he convinced Raditz to actually stay for a bit longer just so he can get stronger. But Raditz tells them that they might be in trouble. Why? Well, if Vegeta and Nappa came here, that's definitely gonna put them on Frieza's radar. It doesn't matter if Vegeta and Nappa keep quiet. The Frieza Force is probably going to figure something out. Why would Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz all head here? Especially with only two of them heading back. He doesn't think Vegeta and Nappa would actually tell Frieza what's going on here. Vegeta might be working against them, but he's also working against Frieza. He wouldn't willingly tell Frieza about the Dragon Balls. If anything, Frieza's going to find out by being suspicious. It's just what we discussed before, and Raditz suspects this to be the case. Nail says that makes sense. That definitely does check out and seems like something that would happen, so they probably should be a bit cautious. And Kakarot's not too sure what to do. Of course, they could just keep training and get stronger, but is that going to really be enough? Especially since Frieza has a whole army. He doesn't know how strong Frieza is right now, and sure, maybe he can get strong enough to actually fight him, but that's a long way off. So what are they supposed to do now? Well, that actually gives Raditz an idea. One of the big issues is that Frieza has a strong army, so why not let Namek have a strong army too? An army of Namekians? That's unheard of. Sure, they have warriors and all, but they never made an organized militia or anything. And Raditz says that this might be necessary. If they're going to be facing the Frieza Force, how else are they supposed to defend themselves? Sure, they got a few strong Namekian warriors, they have Nail and Kakarot, but is that going to be enough? Especially with Kakarot and Nail having to focus on Frieza since they're the two strongest. Raditz says he would join too, but he's going to be leaving here eventually. He can't stay here forever to help them. He doesn't want to be involved in this pointless war anyways. But for the time being, he could at least help them organize an army. While they train him, he'll help them organize. And that might actually work. But while we're on the topic of Raditz, what's he gonna do after all this? He's obviously defected from the Frieza Force by now, and he just wants to venture out into space on his own. He'll find his place somewhere. He doesn't know exactly what he's gonna do yet, but he'll find something. As a Saiyan, he wants to fight, but not as a slave to Frieza, and even though he's grateful for what the Namekians did to him, he's not gonna stay here and die against Frieza. He doesn't even know if they could win exactly, and it's not that he's running away, it's just he realizes that it might be pointless. And Kakarot's fine with it. Raditz was never really supposed to be here anyways, and maybe it would be better if he goes off on his own. At least he could survive if anything bad happens here, but Kakarot is obviously going to stay. And Raditz tells him to suit himself, but Kakarot's welcome to come see him anytime, as long as he can find his brother. So, some time passes. The Namekians begin growing a lot stronger, They train with Kakarot, Nail, and Raditz, and Raditz gets a lot stronger too before he heads out. But the biggest help from him was the fact that he helped organize an army. They started getting all these Namekian warriors together, whipping them into shape. They're strong, sure, but they can make them stronger. And thanks to Raditz's suggestion, as well as the threat of the Frieza Force, more Namekians are born. Not even just warrior Namekians, more from each clan in general. Namek's population begins booming. It could definitely support all these people there. At first, they like being this small, community-driven race, but Namek's faced tragedy before, and obviously they're going to want to avoid that again. So maybe it's for the best that they make more Namekians. New villages pop up around the planet. There's more farms, more Namekians from each clan. It's insane. Kakarot's never seen the planet grow like this. Of course, he's only been here for about 20 years. But it's always been kind of stagnant, and Nail says the same thing. He's been here much longer. He and Guru have never seen anything like it, but this is great. They even start building more training facilities. Basically schools for all these Namekians that are being born. The best part is, it doesn't take long for these Namekians to grow up. Some were born long before, so there's already more warriors than there was originally. But in a few years, there'll be even more. They'll be fully grown by that time. And speaking of time, the Namekians actually construct a new place that'll help them a lot with training. If Kami and Dende had the ability to do this, it's only natural that another Namekian could probably build a room of spirit in time. This one's a little bit different from the one on Earth. Right now, it's only 3 months of training within a day. But this is still huge, and they're going to try and upgrade it as more time passes. This was actually thanks to the help of Mori. He remembered Kami mentioned something like this when they visited before. And he actually did contact Kami while building this. Apparently things on Earth have been going well too. But we'll be saving more of Earth for the next few parts. For now, we're only focusing on Namek. Let's cover some power levels right now too. Kakarot's at 600,000, a huge boost from where he was before. He's even surpassed Nail, who's at 500,000. And a lot of the other warrior Namekians got stronger too, with powers ranging from 10k to 100k. And there's one very important warrior raising through the ranks really quickly. He's getting very strong, and is a higher up Namekian warrior with a power level of about 150k. This Namekian was born a few years back, and has a lot of motivation to grow strong, much more than any other warrior Namekians that they've seen before, and he acts kind of different from the others. But as far as Kakarot and Nail could tell, he's one of the best soldiers. This soldier is named Slug, but we'll be seeing more of him later on. Nail's incredibly impressed with the army, and also very impressed that Kakarot finally surpassed him. He knew it would happen eventually, and he's proud of his student and adopted son. This is a new era of Namek's history that they're witnessing in the making, and all of it started because a Saiyan landed here long ago. It's kind of incredible when they think about it. And he can tell something is on Kakarot's mind. And Kakarot says that he's been reading something. He's been studying a bit, which he's done in the past, but this time he's been trying to look for new ways to get power for himself. The Namekian Book of Legends is a big help, and he even consulted Guru a bit too. Apparently there's a lot about Saiyans that he doesn't know about. Specifically some legend of a Super Saiyan. It's a power that's very interesting to him. He doesn't know if it's some power he can access or if it's a person, and he wants to figure it out. He's not too sure about it yet, but he's going to keep looking. And Nail gives him insight on it too. Maybe it is a power. Maybe it's something Kakarot can access somehow. But there's only one way for him to learn about it. He needs to keep training. Kakarot chuckles. He'll figure out a way to get this power one way or another. He just has to keep doing what he's been doing so far. And amidst their training, Namek gets some surprise visitors too, and they try and enter undercover. It's two people, Zarbon and Dodoria, but they pretend to be regular travelers. They don't have their scouters or their armor on. They want to be as unsuspecting as possible. Dodoria even suggested that they wear fake mustaches. But Zarbon said that would be a little bit too obvious. The two arrive on the planet, and they're trying to be pretty casual about it. They act like they're lost, trying to get info about the people here, and asking if the rumors of Dragon Balls are true. They also heard that there was some Saiyan here. They wanted to see him too. The Namekians all go along with it, and they even lead the two of them to Kakarot. Zarbon and Dodoria are led into an open area, and Kakarot descends down in front of them. Dodoria then reaches in his pocket for a scouter, but as soon as he pulls it out, it gets destroyed by a beam from his side. They look around them. They're surrounded by Namekians, and Kakarot laughs. Do these two really think they're stupid? They could sense their evil ki from a mile away. Even without their armor or scouters or Frieza Force ships, they knew these were Frieza Force members. That malicious ki was a dead giveaway. But Kakarot says he might have some use for them. He wants some info. Dodoria tries to attack one of the Namekians nearby, launching a powerful beam, which is met by an even more powerful beam, and it's completely eradicated by that one Namekian. And Zarbon just looks on in awe. Did a Namekian just kill him? Are they actually that strong? Angrily, he turns over to Kakarot, and Kakarot asks again. He tells Zarbon there's no escape. He saw what happened to his comrade just now. And Kakarot says that could happen to him just as easily. And Zarbon says why they're here, but says it's pointless. If they die, Frieza will come regardless, whether or not they get the information back to him. If they don't return to the Frieza Force, they're gonna know something went down here, and definitely are gonna show up afterwards. And Kakarot says they knew that. They knew that either way, the Frieza Force was gonna find out about this, whether those two returned alive or they died here. Zarbon's getting angry too. Not only did Doria just die, but these guys are being so cocky around him. He'll put them in their place. He transforms, going into his monster form, and he powers up. The Namekians don't even do anything, they just watch on, as does Kakarot. Zarbon then launches over to Kakarot, with a powerful attack charged in one of his hands too. And Kakarot's completely unfazed. He simply sticks out one hand, and in one swift motion, it pierces right through Zarbon's chest. He flings Zarbon to the side, and Zarbon's on the ground barely alive. Kakarot swats the blood off his hand, and he looks over at Zarbon. He simply tells him they'll stop Frieza. He doesn't care how strong he is, but he does have one more question for Zarbon, just for confirmation. Was Frieza responsible for destroying Planet Vegeta? This actually kind of surprises Zarbon, and weakly he chuckles, coughing up blood too. So, it appears these Saiyans are smarter than they thought. They always took them for stupid apes. But this one was right in his assumption that Frieza destroyed their planet. Kakarot barely reacts. Just as he thought, he launches 2 beams from his eyes, and the ground in front of him explodes as Zarbon is killed. They now know that Frieza is responsible for this, and with these 2 soldiers dead, Kakarot expects more to show up soon. He doesn't know if Frieza will show up right away, but they know to at least expect the army sometime soon. He turns to the Namekians, spread the word. It's time to prepare. Planet Namek just declared war against the Frieza Force, in an act of self-defense. They still have a bit of time though. They know they're going to have at least a few days or even a few weeks before the Frieza Force arrive, and that room of spirit and time is really going to help. The army uses it a lot more. They're focused on getting their weakest soldiers stronger now. Even though they have a few strong people like Kakarot, Nail, Slug, and some other warriors, they want everyone to be strong. And the great thing is, since Namekians only need water, there's no limit to how many people can go in the room of spirit and time. On Earth, the way it works is anyone can go in, but there's only enough food for 2 people for 1 year. But since the Namekians don't need food, this isn't a worry. They can fit as many people there as they want, just as long as there's enough water. And they've got a big supply going in there. Kakarot and Nail even cycle in and out of there. And as time passes, they watch as the warriors go stronger and stronger. Some of them even are able to grow up by using the room of spirit and time. Spending a few days in there means they come out fully grown, ready to defend their planet. Nail and Guru are incredibly surprised that it turned out this way. He never expected this peaceful planet to need an army, but this will help them prosper. An army of good soldiers defending Namek, and maybe even eventually they could help the universe out. With all this manpower, imagine the good they could do. And I mean, just look at it. All these Namekians, they're such pure warriors. They're so good and righteous. Well, at least most of them. Unbeknownst to Nail and Kakarot, there may be an impure soul amongst that bunch. Eventually, some Frieza Force soldiers arrive, and they're easily dispatched. It actually takes no effort, and the Namekians even laugh it off. They were really weak, but Kakarot says not to let their guard down. There's definitely more strong soldiers with the Frieza Force. It's not just these guys. More and more ships come in, and a lot of them are filled with weak soldiers, but eventually the Ginyu Force even comes in, and the Frieza soldiers are incredibly confident. They tell the Namekians it's over for them. With the Ginyu Force here, there's no way they're going to lose. And the Ginyu Force actually does make some progress. The Namekians have a bit of trouble holding them off. Not really because of their strength, but mainly because of their abilities. And luckily, they figure out a way to counter Ginyu's ability right away. He tries to body change with one of the warrior Namekians. And it almost works, but just as the body change is about to land, an explosion occurs that knocks Goldo right in front of the Namekian, and Ginyu swaps bodies with one of his own soldiers. They immediately try and switch back, and this lets the Namekians know their strategy. Although Goldo's power is a bit harder to counter, but 3 strong warriors appear, plowing through all the Frieza Force soldiers. First Nail shows up, then Kakarot, and then Slug. The 3 split up. Kakarot decides to take on Jason Birder, while Nail tries to take on Raccoon and Goldo, and Slug tries to take on Ginyu. Even with their combined teamwork, Jason Birder are no match for Kakarot. And even though Goldo's time abilities are annoying, Nail is just so powerful that it barely even matters. Nail launches over towards him and Goldo's only barely able to stop time, and quickly he moves out of the way. But just as he unfreezes time, Nail kicks off at the ground, launching back over to where Goldo just ran to, immediately killing him, and then with another attack, killing Raccoon. And as for Ginyu, he makes quick work of Slug, and Ginyu's amazed by his power. He even offers to recruit Slug, seeing his potential. But Slug declines. He's not going to join the Frieza Force. And Ginyu tells him it's a shame, that's such a waste of power going to Namek, only for it to die against Frieza. But maybe Ginyu can make better use of his body. He tries to swap bodies with Slug, but just as Ginyu launches the body change, Slug quickly moves out of the way, then appearing behind Ginyu. He tells Ginyu not to mock him, and with one brutal attack, he kills Ginyu. He'll only go stronger from here on out. He's not weak at all. And with the Ginyu Force dead and the Frieza Force being quickly eliminated, it seems Frieza has no other choice. One final ship lands on the planet, and the person to step off is Frieza himself. All the Namekians arrive over at the ship, with Kakarot getting there too. Frieza steps off and makes eye contact with the Saiyan. Something's familiar about him. Frieza smirks. He pulls out a scatter, trying to figure out Kakarot's power level. It's pretty weak, and he finally pieces it together. He looks just like the Saiyan that rebelled against him a while ago. And even though he may be stronger than the Saiyan, it still seems he's weak. His power is only a measly 40,000. How funny. Kakarot then powers up. Frieza's scouter explodes, and Frieza receives a quick chop to the back of the neck. Frieza stumbles forward, turning around to see Kakarot there. As Frieza recollects himself, the two stare each other down again, and this is where we'll leave off for now. So, what did you guys think about this part, and what do you think's gonna happen next? Leave any thoughts or suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like, and let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we can get another part of the series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe, as well as hitting that bell icon so you're notified about any future parts of this What If, or any other videos that I upload on my channel. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.